On this episode of Then You Ruined It, Steve discusses the world's second most painful way to remove body hair, while Jason calls him to repentance. Do you know why I feel old all the time? Because I am constantly in deadly combat with my own nose hair.
Yeah.
How's your nose hair situation?
Currently, very ticklish because my beard is growing out. TMI, but the only reason I trim my beard is so I can kiss my lady, and because she does not like kissing a thicker beard, and not that I have a thick beard, but the mustache gets kind of prickly, so she's been, we're burning the midnight oil at the old house while we prepare to sell it, so there's been very little kissing, so there's not much reason to trim it down, so it's gotten very long, and it has met some of my nose hairs, which are also long, and yeah, when they clash, is like... It's like when I would be out in the outfield trying to field balls in middle school, high school, whatever it was, and a bug would fly at my nose. It's just the most betrayal I can possibly imagine. It's like, oh, how could this happen? That's not where bugs go.
Yeah, I have had many a beard hair and many a nose hair get locked into mortal combat, only for me to have to reach up there and perform a fatality and rip them both out and teach them where they belong, which is incredibly painful.
Yeah.
Always makes me sneeze. And I think, well, at least I won't have to deal with that again because that hair is gone. That hair comes back in a week. I am doing that once a week, or at least I was. I have completely solved my nose hair problem. I don't think you can tell when I'm trying to give you a good angle there.
I don't want it. No, I'm good. Thank you.
I'm completely nose hair free. My nostrils are like a baby's butt right now.
Oh, just so many anatomy errors there.
I mean, like the concave version of a baby's butt. I
get that part.
Which I guess would be a butt crack. My nostrils are like a baby's butt crack right now.
You're playing God here because I'm pretty sure like at least some length of nose hair is healthy. Like it holds off like bacteria or something. Or am I wrong about that?
I agree. This could backfire, but I didn't do this by choice. This was thrust upon me. I don't know if it was greatness thrust upon me.
No.
Or this is how I die. But this was not my choice. Here's what happened. So I don't know what it is. But for some reason, the corner by my house is where everyone puts their free crap. Do people in your neighborhood do the free crap thing? Where they just, I don't want to take this to the dump, so I'm going to put it on the sidewalk with a sign that says free and let somebody else take it?
In my old neighborhood, yes, they would. In areas, not on our street, but they would. But the current area we live in now has an HOA, so I think they would shut you down if you tried to do stuff like that. But I know what you're talking about.
So they do it here all the time, and we live right on the corner of a cul-de-sac, so everyone from the cul-de-sac, and I think half the neighborhood chooses our little spot to put things because, I don't know, we're right across from the park, and so I think we get more foot traffic. I don't know. There's always crap in front of us, and usually we ignore it. But they had a grill, a nice grill. A better grill than I had. And we're like, that's a good grill. No one's going to turn down a free grill. Free grills are great. And it said on there, tank 75% full. Like, worst case scenario, free propane for our grill. This is great. So we moved the grill and it's in the backyard. And there it sat for about a month until my wife left. Not permanently, but she left me for the weekend. So I'm home alone. And I'm cooking anyway, but I'm like, really kind of stepping it up a notch. Like, I got to get these kids to be excited for the day when the leaving of me is not temporary and they have to choose sides. And so they'll be like, well, Dad makes really good steak. I'm going to go live with him. So I'm like, I'm going to make steak. I'm going to put it on the grill. It's going to be great. So our grill is in the shed because I paid money for that. This new grill, not in the shed because I didn't pay no money for that. So it's just out there. I go out and I flip it on and hear the gas coming out. Press that ignition button. Click, 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 click. Nothing. Keep pushing it, pushing it, pushing it, pushing it. I think the reason they got rid of it is because the flint or whatever was dead. Like, it just does not ignite. So, like, well, that sucks. I'll go grab some matches. So I go in the house. I couldn't find the matches right away. I eventually find them. I go out to the grill and I'm walking towards it, and right as I strike the match, I think I forgot something. Kaboom! there was a massive explosion of fire. And I'm like, what the crap? And I look down, and my arms are covered in ash. I'm like, wow, there must have been like some buildup in there, and that explosion blew it free. And then I looked closer at the ash. It was my own hair charred to my body. I'm like, oh no! And I touched my face. My entire face hurts and is covered in crusty, burnt hair. I smell like a dog on fire.
Oh, God. That smell must have been terrible.
It was so bad. That is why I'm trimmed. Not just so I can mac on my lady, but because it was burnt to the point, like, I had to cut half my beard off. It wasn't, like, super long, but it was a good half inch, 3/4 of an inch thick, and I had to trim it all the way down to get rid of the smell. But I have no nose hair, because that was entirely vaporized in the flames.
So, in terms of repeating this process, when it does eventually show up again, you've really Randy Quaided yourself in Independence Day, where it's like, okay, my biggest problem with that movie ever was that, okay, it works because he flies into the laser when it's about to fire. So it's, it's the last possible moment he can possibly do this. He flies into it at a certain angle, one ship, he sacrifices himself, and then that's it. It takes down the ship. Of course, it's the big sacrifice, the hero at the end of the story. So then the other guys get on there on they have I guess they're using the Morse code to tell everybody things. Like, get in touch with all the other ships. Tell them how to take these sons of bitches down. It's like, okay, yeah, one of you has to suicide yourself into the ship, and you have to wait till it's just about to fire. So, that's you with now your nose hair. It's like, man, this is perfect. But every time you want to do this, you're going to have to find a way to create another fireball. And eventually you're going to die.
So any sentence that ends with me being like Randy Quaid is A-okay in my book. Totally okay with that.
Randy Quaid in movies to a point. Randy Quaid is batshit insane now.
Hey, you take enough fireballs to the face, you go a little crazy. But it's worth it for that baby butt crack nose that we all desire so bad. So, I mean, that's your biggest problem with the movie Independence Day?
There are others, but that one has really gotten me, and it's stuck with me ever since I saw it.
I think if you told a bunch of military Air Force pilots, hey, we figured out a way that you can save literally everyone in your country, but yes, you will have to die, these people would do it. Like, that's literally what they've been prepared for. I don't think the fact that someone has to suicide is the biggest problem. My biggest problem was the fact that they got their Mac OS to integrate with their computer technology.
He gave it a cold. A virus.
What I took away from that movie is like the planet was so desirable that's why we're like treating it like garbage, is so that the aliens don't come and take it. I think we're trying to keep it like really, really crappy so that, no one will want it. But it turned out all this pollution was a long-term con to save us from the aliens. Data would still be alive if they were started polluting quicker.
I mean, the real shame is that they made a sequel, and that I saw it, but I could not tell you a single thing that happens in that movie.
I completely forgot they made a second one.
They did.
ID42, right? Something like that?
An Independence Day Resurgence, I think. Nothing redeeming about it. It's unforgivable. But back to your thing. Also unforgivable. That you flamed your nose hairs off, and now...
Wait, what sin have I committed? There's nothing that needs to be forgiven.
Again, you're fighting against God. That's not meant to be. You were meant to have nose hairs up there. Women and everybody has nose hairs up there. Just they don't get out of control or whatever, or they manage them, and that is humanity. You have left us. If
God didn't want me to set my head on fire, he wouldn't have made me so stupid. Checkmate.
It's the perfect superhero origin story, except it just ends with, and now I have no nose hair. Checkmate. Okay. Proud for you, man. And then they'll start growing back, and again, you're going to get so upset. Also, when they do grow back, it's going to be so painful. Because think about it.
It's like a mofo. I really hope they don't.
Yeah, anytime you grow hair back, what happens? It itches like crazy. So your nose is going to be the most uncomfortable your body has been in quite some time when those grow back. And you'll also look for another way to, like I said, burn them out again, because that's the only way that you know that it works.
It's the only way I know to live with burnt nostrils. Gonna start huffing flames.
I hope we're still speaking in like 5 years when you have tried something else and it just went horribly wrong and you have to podcast about it. Like you tried Nair in your nose or something like that. I truly hope we are still friends and speaking at that time, because I want to hear the podcast about that.
Snorting Nair sounds like a nightmare.
It does. Also, I'll point out, the entire time that you've been talking about this, my nose has itched like it has not itched in days. It's like when somebody talks about a spider, you see a spider on TV or something, and then all of a sudden you're like feeling them on you, like dropping on you from the ceiling, and So, ever since you said that, I've been so itchy, and I'm not wishing my hair was gone, but I definitely want to trim my beard up again.
Let's get truly personal here for a moment. This is the most deep and personal question I think I've ever asked you. What is your sneeze record?
How many times have I done it in a row? Like, what do you mean?
Yeah. How many? What's your most sneezes in a row?
Oh, I don't really have strings. I'm not one of those people. I tend to have huge sneezes. Like, I'll have a sneeze that will build for like 5 minutes, and when it finally comes out, it scares the bejesus out of everybody in a half-mile radius. But I don't have rapid fire ones.
Dang it, I was hoping I could compete, because I have the smackdown. I rarely sneeze once. I sneezed once as a child, and I had to call my grandpa and tell him. Because every time I sneezed, it was like 2 or 3 or 4 times.
That just sounds like something Jim Ross would say back in the day. I sneezed once and was so surprised I had to call my granddad about it.
Yeah, as you do when you're a child. The other day, I started sneezing. And in Chinese culture, when someone sneezes once, you say 100 years. When they sneeze twice, you say 1,000 years. And if they sneeze 3 times, then they get 10,000 years. And if you manage to sneeze 4 times, you get 10,000 years. I don't want to do the math, but that's a lot of years. And so I sneezed, and my kids are like, 100 years. Sneeze again. 1,000 years. Sneeze again. 10,000 years. Sneeze again. 10,000 years. You did it, Dad. And then I sneezed again, and they're like, we don't know what to say. Like, Mom, what do you say when they sneeze 5 times? And she's like, no one sneezes 5 times. That's crazy. Dad sneezed 5 times. And she's like, I gotta check this out. And then I sneezed again. 6. 7. My kids are now just like counting along, chanting. My daughter is losing her mind. 8 sneezes. 9 sneezes. And she's like, if you break 10, Dad, you're my hero. 10. And then there was a moment. 11 sneezes in a row. I'm never gonna die, according to Chinese sneeze courtesies.
Okay, sure. That's what you want to take from that? I just love that it's like a heroic. You take these little victories as they come when you're a dad. So he sneezed 10 times. We're going out for ice cream. Woo!
Oh, that would have been smart. I should have done that.
Yeah, you should have earned. You earned something for it. Treat yourself.
Dad, why are you eating frosting with a spoon out of the can? Because I sneezed 11 times.
My daughter and my wife went to a graduation party for her. Some girls in the neighborhood invited her, which is nice because, she has no friends really in this area yet. So she went to that. And because it was me and my son, I was like, what's something special I can do for him? Oh, we could go out for ice cream.
That sounds like something special for you, Dad.
Exactly. That's why we did not do that. Instead, we watched some not random, but some Netflix show for him, and got done with it. And he was like, actually, I don't want to watch an episode. I was like, well, bullcrap. You already watched one. Go to bed. We could have had ice cream. You ruined that. He's like, wait, ice cream? What? It's like, no, too late.
You didn't say anything about ice cream.
Yeah. That's right, because I didn't want to talk myself out of it. The joys of being a parent.
Well, get off your butt and start training, maybe you could sneeze 11 times and get ice cream.
I would feel like there's something wrong with my body if I sneezed that many times. Like even 3, I would think like, oh, this is weird. This never happens to me. So
I gotta call my grandpa. Hold on.
I don't have a living grandpa. I don't know who I'll call somebody else's grandpa. Just call my father-in-law. It'd be close enough. Can't imagine how he would try and like bolster my self-confidence. Like, okay, well, good job.
Good job.
How are the kids? Are the kids there? Are my grandchildren there? Are they okay?
Can I talk to somebody else?
Yeah, can I talk to an adult, please? Preferably.